As we continue reading our input file, block section info, we proceed on the block section DA object. So here, we have set the block section info as our input file. And the idea is to read the first row of the block section info file, or this row will be read and processed. So how do we do that? As we read the block section info, the entire row of the block section info file, we need to place it on a variable called row block section. The entire row will be placed on this variable. Row block section will be declared as a string. Since we cannot process this entirely, we need to separate it. We need to use also another variable which is called the row block section specific. So this is an array string wherein whatever read in the row block section variable will be placed on the array string variable on 3 parts. Okay, so the size of the row block section specific is 3, and each one separated by a comma will be placed separately on each array element. Declare the row block section. We read the file. And put it in row block section. In doing so, we execute block section info dot next line. So the entire line will be placed on row block section. We declare the row block section specific. This is an array. So the question is why 3? Why 3? If you go back, our input file is separated by 2 commas. So we have one set of data that needs to be divided into 3. So row block section specific, the index 0 of the array variable will contain the block code. The second one would be the description of the block, and the third would be the name of the advisor. So as far as you could remember, array number starts with 0, not 1. So our next attempt is to put data in array string. In order to do that, we say row block section specific would be row block section dot split. So in order to separate data that is contained on row block section, we need to execute the split method. Our splitter here is a comma. Okay. As we have discussed, implementing the split on this row would obtain a picture like this. The data now are splitted and will be allocated on each array element. Next is to create a block section object. The idea here is we need to put data on the block section domain object. As we know, the block section object contains block code, description, and advisor. So let us declare first our block section. So there is an error on block section. We hover our mouse to include the object. We need to import the block section domain. Put data in block section object. Here we utilize our setter. So we type set the block code. Okay, so here you are already given a hint or pre-select all the setter method that you could use. On this case, we do first the setting of data on block code. So you go down and click the set block code. So the block code that you're going to put here would come on the raw block section specific. If you go back, the raw block section specific, the block code is located on index 0. So here, instead of the suggestion of block code, you placed here raw block section specific index 0, and you try to trim it. The leading and trailing spaces will be trimmed. What is left of it is just the content 2BSIT3. Next on our list is we put the description followed by the advisor. The description is located on index number 1 and the advisor is located on index number 2. We need to trim also its leading and trailing spaces. We could check if we successfully read the data by simply displaying this portion. So how do we do that? In displaying the data, we proceed on the block section object. Click the block section object. To print the content of the block section object, we need to create a new method. And that method is the toString method. The purpose of toString method is to return the default value of the object. On this case, it's block section. We try to define first what should be displayed on our when we call this method. So we says string result. On our output, we need to declare the block section label. Then we read the content of the block section code, block section description, and the class advisor. So under block section, we call the attribute block code. We place a \t here to tab the output, and then we concatenate block section description. So here we concatenate description, and then we concatenate a new line. So it will start a new line. Last is the class advisor. Here we display the advisor. Since we are true on putting the output, we need to issue the return statement. Since our output is already complete, we go back on our block section DA and we display the output. In doing so, we execute the system out println and then we execute block section. Some developers are trying to use the toString method here, but actually there's no need to do that. If you have just indicate the name of the block name of the object, that will suffice to call the toString method. Okay, so we go on our COM report and try to save and run this program. So we successfully displayed our first output.